All right, today we are going to draw our portrait. But to make things a little bit easier on us, we're gonna only draw a half a portrait. It's gonna look something like this. So here's the edge of my paper. So we're gonna draw a half portrait. And then on the other half of our paper, we're gonna do our name, but we're gonna do it in kind of like a graffiti style with our letters, okay? So when you get your piece of paper, first and foremost, name and class code on your piece of paper. And then we're gonna flip it over so that's on the back. And we're gonna fold our paper into a few sections. These folds are going to help us figure out where certain facial features are going to go on our head, eyes, nose, mouth, chin, all of that. So I'm gonna take my paper, right now it's portrait style, it's tall and skinny, and I'm gonna bring the top to the bottom, and I'm going to fold in half, like so. And then I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna take the top to the bottom and fold in half. Then I'm going to take left to right and fold in half. So I've taken this nice big piece of paper and I have folded it down to where it is this small rectangular piece. And this last fold, you really kind of got to use some muscles. Okay, so there's my piece of paper. I've created sections now on my paper that's going to help me when I do my drawing. So I'm going to unfold my paper. Okay, you should have 8 sections on your piece of paper, 8 kind of little rectangles. All right, this is going to help us figure out where the edge of our face goes, where our eyes go, our nose, and our chin. Okay, so I'm going to start drawing, and I'm going to start drawing at the top of my piece of paper on that center fold line, and I definitely recommend whisper drawing first. Whisper drawing is where you draw lightly, because that way if you make a mistake, it's easier to erase. If you draw dark, it's going to be hard to erase. So draw lightly, and we're gonna draw a line that goes down. It's gonna follow that center fold of our piece of paper. Notice how I'm doing a bunch of small lines. This is called sketching. And I'm going to have this line go down the center. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Go down the center of my piece of paper, and then it's going to stop when I get to the middle. This is my middle fold line. This is where the middle of my paper meets the middle of my paper. Okay? This is where we're going to start moving over to our chin. Okay, let's see if I can find my line. Okay, there's my line. Sorry. There's my line, and I'm going to create a curved line that's going to go from where I've stopped there down to here on the next fold line for my paper. Okay, let's see, there we go. All right, what I'm going to do is, I think it's best, if I remember right, to start at the bottom fold line of my piece of paper, okay? I'm on the right-hand side of my paper at the bottom fold line, and I'm going to draw a line on that fold line, and it's going to be about 2 to 3 finger widths wide, and I'm going to make myself a little dot on my fold line. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to draw lightly, and I'm going to come across like that, okay? Now I'm going to connect this line to this line, and I'm going to do it with a curved kind of swoop. This is going to be like the bottom part of your cheek going into your chin. Remember, draw lightly. For me, it's probably going to take about 1 time because I've done this a lot. This is a lesson I've done for many, many years, so I'm well practiced at it. It might take you a couple of tries, and that is okay. This is something new to you. You can't expect to get something perfect the very first time you try. Some of you might get a little lucky, and that's great, but some of you it's going to take a little bit more time, and that is okay. All right? Okay, so now I have the edge of my face coming down to my cheek and chin down here. Okay? Now, this is where my dot was, where I made it for my 3 finger widths, okay? Where that dot is, I'm going to come over a bit, maybe about 2 to 3 finger widths again, okay? And I'm going to make a little dot there where on my curved part of my chin, okay? This is where I'm going to start the neck, okay? And I'm going to draw the side of my neck, and it's going to be like a gentle curve, another curve line, kind of like that, okay? Like I said, I got mine right the first time. It might take you a couple of tries, and that is okay. That's why we are drawing light, because if we make a mistake, we can go back and erase and make a new line, okay? Excellent. All right. We're going to take this neckline here and we're going to continue it over for our shoulder. And our shoulder, this is the left side of my paper. These are my boxes on my left side. I haven't done anything over here. So I'm going to come, let's see if I can find, okay, there's the curve of my neck. Okay, there's the curve of my neck. And here is my other section. I'm going to come about roughly halfway. It's okay if it's a little farther left or right, but I'm going to go about halfway. And that's where I'm going to take this curve line and I'm going to continue it over. It's curving until I can get it more straight across, like a horizontal line. And then when I get about to the middle of that section, I'm going to have it start to slope down. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got so far. Here's the side of my head up here, coming down to my chin, my neck, over into my shoulder, okay? That is their basis for where our head is going to go. Now we're gonna start adding in our features. Right now, most everybody's head should look pretty similar. We might have a little bit of a different curve of our chin and our neck and our shoulder and all of that. But right now, everybody's portrait looks about the same. Okay, the first facial feature we're gonna work with are the eyes. So I'm up here at the top of my paper and we're gonna be using this first fold line here. This is where my eyes are going to go, okay? And my eyes are gonna go about in the center of that section, maybe a little bit closer to the edge of my paper. What we're working with right now is something called facial proportion, meaning that the features of your face have certain measurements. They are proportionate to each other, so that way your face looks right. So maybe your eyes don't look too big or your nose doesn't look too big. There are certain people and certain ethnicities of people that have a slightly different facial proportion than others. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the way that they're made, okay? Certain family generations are known for having maybe a wider nose. Certain family generations are known for having a smaller eye or larger lips, or their eyes are spaced farther apart. There's nothing wrong with these. It's just the way that people are made and the way that their DNA and their genetics and everything has been passed down from generation to generation. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about how you figure out your facial proportions, and then we're going to kind of draw a generalized look for our facial proportions. Yours might be a little bit different, but when we get done, I guarantee you it's still gonna look like you. So let me talk to you a little bit about facial proportions.